The purpose of post-processing spoken word audio, in my opinion,
is not to make your voice sound different.
It's not to change the way that your microphone sounds, but rather, it's to make sure that your audio is easy to listen to for your audience. Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to Podcastage. My name is Bandrew, and today I want to talk to you about how I think you ought to be approaching post-processing your spoken word audio. Step number 1, get your audio right before you hit record. I don't know who needs to hear this, so I'm going to say it anyway. Post-processing cannot fix terrible audio. Will fix it in post should not be in your vocabulary. You should be willing and able to publish your unprocessed audio without getting any kind of complaints. To drive home this point, I have some examples. Here is raw audio of the Neumann U87 that I think is recorded well and I would be happy with. And here is what I would classify as poorly recorded audio on the Neumann U87. And here is that same poorly recorded audio that I have tried to post-process and salvage and get something useful out of, but in the end, the audio going in was so bad that the final product still is absolute garbage. Maybe I'm biased because I recorded it, but out of those examples, I would 10 times out of 10 pick the unprocessed audio, and I think that audio was good enough to publish it as the final product for my podcast. Let me know if I'm crazy and you disagree with me, but I think that's the level that your audio needs to be at before you hit record. Step number 2, process with a purpose. I know how tempting it is to go out and download all of the channel strips and all of the presets because then you don't have to think about anything. You can just put it on your audio and it's going to be great, right? No. Before you add any plugins to your channel strip, you need to determine how that plugin is going to be solving an issue. What this means is before you add any plugins, you need to listen to your audio and identify the issues that exist. For example, here I am right on top of the Neumann U87AI, and the proximity effect is in full effect, and the audio is likely too muddy. But now I've applied a little bit of EQ, which you can see on screen, to hopefully clear up a little bit of that muddiness and make it a little bit more intelligible. To boil it down and make it simple, every plugin in your channel strip needs to serve a purpose. Step number 3, make sure that your audience has a good listening experience. Like I said in the intro to this video, this is why I think we should be processing our YouTube videos, our podcasts, our TikToks, our live streams. Anything that has audio that we're post-processing should be to this end. Like the first 2 steps, I have some examples, but I need to lead into them with a question. What is post-processing for? It's to ensure that if too much background noise made it into your recording, you can get rid of that to remove distractions. It's to ensure that you don't have too many sharp S sounds like Sally sells seashells by the seashore. It's also to ensure that you don't have too many plosives. Please bring pizza pronto. No one wants to hear it. It's also to get rid of any unwanted low-end rumble. You'll also want to use it to decrease the dynamic range between the quietest parts and the loudest parts. My voice cracked while I was clipping the microphone. I don't think anything more embarrassing has ever occurred on this channel. Step 4, don't add the flavor yet. I have encountered a lot of people on their audio journey who are trying to get their post-processing right, and a lot of them are trying to sound like some famous broadcaster, some radio host, some podcast, some Twitch streamer, some YouTuber. And a lot of the time, they don't end up happy with the results, and I think this all goes back to step number 1. The audio that they are recording is not good enough. The reason that I'm bringing this up is they are trying to process and add a bunch of compression, add a bunch of EQ to audio that is absolute rubbish. This is why step number 1 exists. This is why you need to make sure the audio is as good as it can possibly be before you hit record. Then you need to clean up the audio in post if there's anything that needs to be fixed. Once that is done, then go on to adding the flavor. Go on to trying to mimic somebody else's sound to get the sound that you really want. But first, the most important thing is having great sounding audio before you start messing around with it. Yo, Here I am on my very first amazing sounding podcast. I got the background noise. I got the close talking super duper proximity effect. I got the plosives, and most importantly, I got my hat. And what kind of sound do I want? I want the radio sound, so we are going to compress it. We are going to EQ it. We are going to bass the boost and bass the treble. Boost the treble, not bass the treble. Boost the treble. And that is what we are going to get. It's already going to sound terrible just based on that processing. But on top of that, the audio going into it. I just turned into, what's his name? Not Jack Black, Lewis Black. It's just terrible going into it. Okay, that's enough of this example. I apologize. And there you go. That's what a video of me waxing poetic about post-processing looks and sounds like. I know there are going to be plenty of people who disagree with me, and there will be exceptions. Let me know in the comments down below what those exceptions are for you and what you disagree with. But if you did find this video fun, interesting, or helpful, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, big ol' thumbs down. Subscribe if you want more of these videos. And if you want to be one of these amazing people, you can do so by clicking that join button or going to patreon.com/podcastage and joining at the $5 tier or higher. It really does help me continue to bring you these videos. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Happy post-processing. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.